This video is about gun control legislation. There are two types of legislation. There's stupid legislation and there's unconstitutional legislation. The Second Amendment says a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I take the position that when you want to resolve whether or not something is constitutional, you look at the decisions of the United States Supreme Court. There was a decision in about 1938 called the Miller case. In that case, it was determined that a shotgun with a barrel of less than 18 inches could be regulated by requiring the person who owns it to pay $200, get a stamp on it, and to register it. Then there were more recent cases called the McDonald and Heller cases. In those two cases, it was decided that neither a state or city or federal government could cause it to be illegal to have handguns. Then we get into stupid laws. In Connecticut and Colorado, they passed laws requiring you to register so-called assault rifles. These are the rifles that look like assault rifles and are semi-automatic as opposed to being automatic. In Colorado, two legislators who voted for them got kicked out of office. In Connecticut, there's a lot of people who haven't registered their firearms. In Connecticut, the status of the law has gotten to the first branch, or the first stop in the federal litigation. It's been through the district court, and it's now going up to the circuit court, and the law was found to be constitutional. In Colorado, it just was found to be constitutional. There was a recent Supreme Court case called Nebraska. That was another example of a stupid law, but it was found to be constitutional. Particularly what happened was Mr. Nebraska bought a firearm for someone else who was eligible to own the firearm, but because it was a straw purchase, he was found guilty of a crime, and now he's a felon, even though the person who he was giving the gun to was perfectly eligible to own the firearm. Similarly, with regards to the Connecticut law causing the registration of, so to speak, assault-type weapons, that resulted because of the Newtown shooting. If you want to see a quick proof how stupid the law was, had Nancy Lanza chosen to comply with the law and had it been in effect at the time, the Newtown shooting would have occurred because her son Adam killed her, stole her weapons, and took them and did the shooting. So that law would not have stopped that. There seems to my mind to be four reasons why there are gun control laws. One, some people believe the argument that if you take away the guns, you take away the violence. Two, some people, well, we are living in a society where we're becoming more detached from the realities of the world, And if you live in an apartment somewhere and commute to work and sit behind your desk and you don't get out in the world and see things as to how the food is made and where it comes from, you have a natural tendency to look for safety. The third reason is when an event like in Colorado or Connecticut or Colorado occur, there's some urgency for the legislature to do feel-good legislation. And as I just previously said, the legislation they passed in Connecticut would not have prevented the reason for the legislation, nor is it likely the Colorado legislation would have prevented it. And then the fourth reason is we've now gone to sort of a pack mentality in our body politics, and so the various groups have formulated, and some people who are on the liberal end of the thing vote for gun control just because they need the people who are concerned about gun control voting with them and when they want to push their pet project. So those are the four reasons why I think people are doing it. Then we should look at the actual statistics, which I'm going to have as a clip at the end of this video. Look at them carefully. There are the 2012, which were the newest statistics I could find from the FBI. And if you look at the murders committed with firearms, 95% of them are either committed by people who use a handgun or who use a shotgun. And I guess there's no call for restricting access to shotguns, so 95%. If you look at the statistics, there's a number that about 1,700 that are unaccounted for as the exact type. So what I did was I took the ratio and then I extrapolated it, and then I came up with the 95% number. I assume that the number of about 1,700, the ratio of handguns, shotguns, and long guns would be the same. And if you compare that number on the chart with blunt instruments or knives and cutting instruments, and also personal things that would include fists, feet, and hands, all three of those categories exceed the number of deaths by long guns. However, you have to move the number of deaths by long guns up to 404. So look at the statistics. In any claim, any claim that there will be a significant impact on murders by regulating by regulating guns, particularly assault-style weapons, is just bogus. Look at the statistics.